show that I've got what it takes, or at least find out if I have what it takes, because I know it's going to be tough. It's going to be the toughest thing I've ever done. I can't wait to get out there.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Thursday, October the 11th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. The Hamilton Health Clinic, it appears, is not the only facility of that kind faced with structural issues. Word reaching Bermuda Broadcasting suggesting the maternity and children's wards at the King Edward Memorial Hospital are affected by similar problems. Gary Moreno has the story.
Individuals who contacted our newsroom complain while the Hamilton Clinic has been closed pending remedial work to the building, the same thing needs to be done for these two wards, which are housed in the general wing, more commonly known as the old hospital building. We're told very often the water supply has to be shut off to allow for plumbing repairs to be carried out on floors above the maternity and children's wards, causing a disruption of service to these wards. There have also been complaints of the hot water supply not always available. Elsewhere, persons we spoke with claim it's not uncommon for ceiling tiles on the maternity and children's ward to become soaked to the point where they collapse, posing threat to not only staff, but more so patients in their care. Another complaint is that any repairs carried out are cosmetic at best and do not address the fact that the building in which these two units are located has gone well past its useful life and in fact is more than 50 years old. Sources say even physicians have been complaining about these problems, with the response purportedly being these issues will be addressed as part of the BHB's estate's master plan. It is understood no one has been able to say just when that plan will be implemented. Now, when we contacted the Bermuda Hospital's board about these concerns, Scott Pierman, its chief operating officer, issued the following statement. The maternity and Gosling units are located in the King Edward VII Memorial Hospital's general wing, which opened in 1965. It's 53 years old, in need of refurbishment and subject to infrastructure failings. Repairs, he says, are not dependent on the estate's master plan, and in fact, repairs and upgrades occur on an ongoing basis. Evidence of such progress, he adds, is often inconvenient to staff and visitors because of the erection of precautionary barriers. Over the course of the summer, we've made several upgrades, including the special baby care unit and maternity labor and delivery room too. An engineering review and continued upgrades to the public and patient areas are ongoing. And now that the Clinical Service Plan 2017 is complete, the BHB is revising the estate's master plan, which will address the future campus positioning of hospital services. According to Mr. Pierman, the estate's master plan program is not and will not inhibit any necessary improvements to critical departments, and these include the maternity and Gosling units. When provided with this information, a medical practitioner who spoke with us on condition of anonymity reminded in January last year, one patient managed to avoid injury during the partial collapse of a ceiling on the maternity ward. They added, while they appreciate Mr. Pierman's comments, they feel it's only a matter of time before something more untoward occurs unless action is immediately taken to remedy the situation. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
New research shows people in Bermuda, regardless of race or background, are living with a significant burden of trauma. It's the focus of a groundbreaking conference titled Adverse Childhood Experiences, Awareness and a Call to Action, which is running at the Hamilton Princess and Beach Club today and tomorrow. The event was filled almost to capacity, with over 200 health professionals being represented here. It's the first time the island has collectively started to focus on unaddressed trauma. Expert psychologists in the areas of racial, intergenerational, and informed trauma care are here to share their knowledge.
We now understand that children are so loyal to their family systems. Their need to belong is bigger than anything else, and they will repeat unprocessed situations from their ancestry in their lives unconsciously. They will try to be loyal to where they come from. And so we have made lots of inways around how to work in family systems to identify what is the traumatic background that is now being repeated by the grandson.
There is individual trauma from emotional and physical abuse experienced as a child, but also past traumas that can be affecting a society collectively.
It was clear in the room that it's about white and black and how do we shift things and how do we work as a we rather than this us and them thing. So I hope there'll be some movements, maybe even coming out of the conference, to look at the underlying collective trauma.
Racial trauma is an emerging subject, and it's a topic Professor Awasan is now teaching therapists how to unravel.
I think it's very hard for white people to really take ownership of the pain that generations of their ancestors have caused them, people of color and black people, and also for them to even be aware of the fact that they have privilege around it and that they continue to use that privilege unknowingly to them. So it's very difficult dialogue.
What we know so far is that there is a significant burden of trauma regardless of race or background, according to a pilot ACEs survey. Other findings include road traffic collisions being a prevalent form of trauma. The survey is showing promise as an effective tool to overcoming social ills.
Being able to say that we actually have information informed about Bermuda by Bermudians offers us a tailored opportunity to now say these policies can be created.
It's the hope of those in attendance of learning ways to identify and use new methods of care for those in the community. Mainly, how can our children, adults, and families heal? In the words of the panelists, change happens slowly, but that's no reason not to try. We'll have more for you after this short break, including all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
What do you really want, Bermuda, when you're shopping online and getting your online orders from there to here? You want fast service, you want ultra-friendly staff, and you want the lowest possible price. With over 16,000 members using Mailboxes Unlimited U.S. Express service, we are the least expensive on the island by far, 80% cheaper than the couriers. We'll get your packages from there to here fast. That was easy.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account today.
That was easy.
Sears is Bermuda's largest home appliance store with over 200 appliances in our showroom. We have refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, washers and dryers. Sears has a wide selection of craftsman's tools and accessories. Beautify your home with our lawn and garden tools. We have everything you need for outdoor entertaining. Located at 41 Victoria Street, Sears is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sears, reliable delivery, quality service, and everyday low prices.
My previous doctor had once or twice said to me, "You're pre-diabetic." And then I changed over to Dr. James. One of my blood tests, it came back and they told me I was diabetic. It was kind of gut-wrenching, really. And I saw Dr. Kavan. He explained that there was this program.
This is not a specific diet. The focus is on lifestyle change.
You get to network with a bunch of people, all with slightly different stories, slightly different goals, different activity levels, different ages, but you're all trying to achieve the same thing at the end.
That it is to help people change their lifestyles in order to reverse the process that leads to type 2 diabetes, and in some cases that will lead to them no longer having type 2 diabetes.
To date, I've lost, say, 30 pounds, 6 inches off my waist. So it's been successful.
Patients immediately begin to notice that they feel better. Significant weight loss has been probably the most dramatic thing that most people are excited about. And in addition to that, it's much better sugar control.
Potentially, it could save your life.
Welcome back. Deputy Leader of the Opposition OBA, Leah Scott, says the 35th America's Cup is providing a lasting legacy for all young Bermudians, and she questions whether fintech will do the same. Mike Sharp has the details.
Lawyer Scott believes that government is finding out that it is difficult to create jobs when just last year they slammed the OBA for a successful America's Cup that created hundreds of jobs and taught skills to over 2,000 youngsters.
When AC 35 was first promoted, the Premier did not believe that it was going to benefit the entirety of Bermuda. And he made a comment in the reply to the budget that it was just going to, I guess, satisfy a certain segment. And so in terms of the spectator part of AC 35, I can understand that. But AC 35 actually came to Bermuda and invested in Bermuda. They believed in Bermuda. They set up the Endeavor program, and the Endeavor program has to date had 2,200 students between the ages of 9 through 12 pass through that program.
In April and May to June of this year, government entered into 4 MOUs with Binance, Medici Ventures, Shift, and Arbitrade. But when are we going to get a solid agreement?
Binance, although they came to Bermuda and said that they were comfortable with our regulatory environment, is now in Malta. They've set up an exchange, and I understand that they're also expanding to Uganda. Binance came and they made promises of 30 or 40 jobs for Bermudians, a commitment of $15 million for training and education. Shift came in and said that they would contribute, I think, $10 million. Arbitrade said that they were going to commit money to Bermuda.
The deputy leader said AC Bermuda invested here and believes government is finding it extremely difficult to create jobs.
So I think that the government is finding out that job creation or creating an environment to create jobs is not as easy as saying that we want to create jobs. You know, the government gave the OBA a hard time. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? So I'm asking the same question, and I want to know what jobs fintech is going to create. I understand that it's going to create jobs in compliance, but what other jobs are there going to be? And I'm not talking about low-level jobs. Bermudians need to have the mid-level and high-level jobs, and they also need to be trained for those jobs.
After 4 MOUs, should there be some word on where government is heading with fintech?
So where are the jobs? And what jobs are going to be available for Bermudian? I think that Shift said that they were going to be working with workforce development. So are there apprenticeship programs going on now? Are there training programs? Have they made these multi-million-dollar investments in Bermuda that they said they were going to make? Or are the negotiations still in process? And if they are in process, then let the public know.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
More cost savings are expected for consumers as part of government solar energy technology rebate program. Today, Minister of Transport and Regulatory Affairs Walter Raban provided an update on the initiative that provides homeowners with an annual rental value of up to $30,000, a rebate of $2 per watt, up to $8,000, and $1 per watt for those with greater ARVs. Minister Raban says the purchase of solar panels and other technology is now affordable.
With lending institutions having more appetite for making loans available for homeowners for the express purpose of solar technologies, we believe this initiative will give some incentive to the average consumer to take advantage of the rebate program. There are several policies around the solar rebate program that we think are important to note. Every customer will fill out an application furnishing basic information, including but not limited to the customer's assessment number, the intended size of the installation, and the name of the installer company. Only one solar PV rebate will be available per assessment number. For water heating, one assessment number may receive multiple rebates. The customer must, and I repeat, must work through a registered installer who meets set criteria as per the previous rebate program. And rebates will only be given for installations that receive planning approval and building control approval as well.
The Department of Energy estimates that an average household can see up to 38% on energy savings by switching to solar PV panels. And weather now, and our thoughts go out to those in Florida battling the aftermath of Hurricane Michael. We can certainly thank our lucky stars here for the perfect conditions outside as seen on our tower cam. Let's now head over to the AccuWeather headquarters for the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
Good evening. The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm your AccuWeather meteorologist, Dajia Swad. As we take you into your satellite here, not much happening across Bermuda, and that's the good news. We have high pressure over us. But as we head out towards the west into the United States, Keep an eye on Tropical Storm Michael that is interacting with a cold front coming into the northeastern half of the country. These two features will continue to track their way into the Atlantic. The good news, most of the moisture will be to the north of us, but we will see some wet weather into our weekend because of those features. Leslie still doing its own thing out towards the Atlantic there. Not good at this time, not going to be impacting any land. Now, as we head into our current conditions, we're in the upper 70s for currently in St. George's as well as Hamilton, Somerset Village. Humidity 55 to 60%, so not too bad out there. Winds coming out of the south, southeast at 5 to 10 knots. Waves in the reef 1 to 2 and waves out running 3 to 5. At this time, no small craft use caution or warning in effect. We do have some clouds out there, partly cloudy conditions with a low of 72. Not going to be looking at any wet weather here tonight, though. As for your upcoming tides, our next high tide is at 11:07 p.m. tonight, and then following into your Friday morning, 11:30 a.m. on your Friday morning for your next high tide. As for tomorrow, not looking bad as we close out this work week. Breezy conditions and noticing some clouds and sun at times, topping off at 81 and cooling down to 74. However, as we said, things are going to be changing into the extended forecast. As far as it goes for other islands in the Caribbean here, Jamaica dealing with heavy amounts of moisture, going to be in the unsettled side of the Caribbean Sea, calling for chances for showers and thunderstorms. We'll also see showers for Barbados and Trinidad, topping off in the lower 90s in Trinidad, so a bit warmer out towards the southern Caribbean. Toronto, New York, Boston. We are looking at plenty of clouds for your getaway forecast. A little cooler out towards Toronto with a high of 51 and a low of 39. Atlanta getting sunshine behind Tropical Storm Michael. We did get some rain in towards Georgia as well as the deep south. In Miami, we're going to remain on the unsettled side as there is a boundary over the region. So if you're headed there, not going to be looking at too much sunshine for the next several days, but we'll return to a regular pattern out towards southern Florida. Friday, once again, not looking bad, but as we head into Saturday and Sunday, that moisture related off the eastern half of the U.S. going to be tracking its way into the Atlantic. Tropical Storm Michael, its center of circulation is going to stay to the north of us, but we'll get some trailing in of that storm, and that's going to allow for some showers and some more consistent rain possible on your Sunday. Monday, that's when we notice a bit less wet weather, topping off in the lower 80s.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
It's hurricane season. Here are some tips from BF&M. Before a storm, make sure you have a family plan. Stock up on food and water and protect your home. Board up and make sure your insurance policies are up to date. After a storm, check everyone's safety, especially seniors. Inspect your property and secure from further damage. Then note the damages, list, and take photos. Remember, you can always count on BF&M 24/7 during hurricane season and all year round.
At Big Savings Zone, we believe your children deserve a happy space to call their own, full of color and excitement, where their imagination can take flight from fun to functional. We have a delightful selection of kids' furniture built with the same quality that you've come to know and trust at our everyday low prices. Create a room that your little ones will love only at Big Savings Zone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Located in the Commercial Park, Southside, St. David's. Call 297-4440 or click BigSavingZone.com. Big Savings Zone, making your house a home.
I'm Michaela and this is Taking Off. When most people think of a construction site, they imagine men working, right? Well, at the site of the airport redevelopment project, we have a number of incredible women who are helping to build the new terminal. From steel and iron workers to laborers to painters to a safety expert, the women are making it happen. Let's meet them. Gail Marshall ensures the site and workers are safe and is a field-based labor superintendent. She also makes sure everyone follows safety protocols. Kim Botello is a labor and steel worker, and her day-to-day role includes moving materials to various sections of the site and making sure it's clean and tidy. Sisters Yulan Tucker and Patrice Aswood are painters. They paint the beams, nuts, and bolts to prepare them for fireproofing. Chelsea Hoffman is a laborer and an iron worker. Her work includes bolting iron and steel, sorting bolts, and installing decking. These women will be proud to say they helped build Bermuda's new airport terminal when it's completed in 2020. And you know what, ladies? We're proud of you. And a special shout out to Skyport, voted one of Bermuda's top 10 employers by RG Business Magazine. See you next time.
I'm Tony Waterman. Coming up on The Breakdown this week.
10 years on from the global financial crisis.
Lost all of my kids' college savings.
What has Bermuda learned, and is it better positioned for the next meltdown? Real estate hit hard during the recession, and one of the island's leading real estate agents says certain parts of the market still haven't recovered. And Hump Day goes Lux. Local entrepreneurs turning routine Wednesdays into something to look forward to. That's Thursday at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9.
And another reminder that at 8 o'clock tonight, our new business show, The Breakdown, will air at ZBM TV 9. This week, Tony Waterman takes us back to the heart of the financial crisis and asks whether Bermuda is better prepared for the next meltdown. Well, Craig Simmons from Bermuda College and Malcolm Butterfield from the Bermuda Insurance Institute join her on set. Here's a little tease from their conversation.
We spend most of our money on services and not on goods. So when you're thinking about the future, the service sector is going to be an ever-expanding sector. And of course, you need the resources to drive that sector forward. I mean, we lost, 17% of our labor force as a result of the financial crisis. We lost thousands of young, talented Bermudians. So, when we talk about immigration and repatriation, we've got to get boots on the ground, both new boots as well as the old boots, the talented young Bermudians that left during the crisis. And we've got to attack the problem of education.
Catch the full conversation at 8 p.m. on Channel 9. And in case you are not aware, the Bermuda Police Service is currently observing Police Week. With that in mind, the organization has been staging a series of events involving a wide cross-section of the community. Yesterday, officers traded in their usual kit for more unassuming gear as they waited on guests at the annual Police Seniors Tea, which was held at the Hamilton Princess Hotel. We caught up with Dwayne Keynes, the Police Public and Media Relations Manager, who explained why this event is one of the most anticipated during Police Week.
This year, we're fully subscribed at approximately 545 members of our community, individuals who have paved the way so that we can enjoy Bermuda. Again, we have a number of little things that we're doing to entertain them. We have Tony Brennan coming through, we have poets, and we have wonderful food and, of course, tea. We are thankful that the Bermuda Police Service can do this small little token to show them that we're thankful for what they've done to make Bermuda the place that it is and the place that it can be.
And as you can see, there was an impressive turnout for the event, and reports of a good time was had by all, especially Mr. Keynes, we understand. And still to come, Earl Basin will have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes.
You can count on us.
Save $2.50 on beefsteak tomatoes, only $2.49 per pound. Fresh assorted pork chops, $3.49 per pound. Bermuda's Best canola or vegetable oil, 48-ounce bottle, hot price $4.29. Scott chooses size paper towels, one roll, $2.79. Save $3 on King Hawaiian sliced bread, 16-ounce loaf, hot price $5.99. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Bassett, custom designs by you at Furniture Walk. So, how do you like it? Choose your arm style, then select your pieces. Special order exactly what you want. Your style, your way. Sofa, love seat, chair, sectional, you name it. Bassett, your style, your way at Furniture Walk.
Now, Earl Basin has the very latest from the sports desk.
Madeline Moore and Charlotte Toogood were back in action in Argentina as the Youth Olympic Games continued.
Moore competed in the women's 50-meter backstroke, finishing 5th in Heat 2. Moore touched the water at a time of 30:59. Her time would see her finish 28th overall. Too Good has an opportunity to showcase her talent in a competition that will run as an exhibition event. Too Good took on a player from Australia. The former Cup Match Players and Officials Foundation will be having their second golf tournament at the Belmont Hills on Saturday, October 13th. The organization president, Dean Minus, says although it's a golf tournament, the players have a lot of fun.
You're on your golf cart getting ready to, go ahead and strike a ball and you're somebody come across, yeah, you used to do the same thing 10 years ago. Yeah, which one's getting? Yeah, you can't play because it's just the constant banter. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. But you get a chance to fellowship at the end, and the stories that you hear about cup matches. No, these are stories that you never even heard of when you were playing. What about that time? Because you might get two Somerset players at a table sitting on, and they were reminiscing about a time. As a St. George's player, you're telling me, what you mean? What happened there? Man, when he came to the wicket, man, the guy was so nervous. He couldn't get the pair to him wrong,
Trey Simons earned the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Male Runner of the Week released by the league office. Simons helped Morehouse win the Robert Schumack HBCU Cross Country Challenge in North Carolina by running a season personal best time of 24:57. This came during the men's 8K run. Morehouse finished first out of 16 schools and 104 runners. Morehouse scored 93 points, beating out Florida Atlantic, who had 104, North Carolina A&T with 113 points, Benedict with 198 points, and St. Augustine's College that features Robert Edwards and Shaquille Deal. They finished 5th with 262 points. It was last night that we reported a volleyball coach from Holland College will take part in the ID camp that will take place in Bermuda October 22nd through to the 26th. Today we hear from the coach herself.
Hi, my name is Lori Beth Dwyer. I'm the head coach of the women's volleyball team and academy and camp coordinator here at Holland College in Prince Edward Island, Canada. I'm looking forward to my trip to Bermuda later this month, and I'd like to thank the Bermuda Sport Management Group and the BBFS for hosting. I can't wait to meet all of your athletes, and I'll see you soon.
Bermuda International Nikki Wells appeared on the Loftcast, an arm of the Queen's Park Rangers podcast. They sat down to get a feel for how Wells has adjusted to life at Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, I would say I've settled in quite well. It's been still a short period of time, but it feels like I've been there longer than it actually has been, maybe due to the fact that there's been, so many games in short succession.
That's probably ideal, though, isn't it? As a new player, you sort of want to get in and just get things going.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, the physical demand, but it's something that I've always been used to, having played in this league and lower league. So I am used to the demand of constant games, but after not having that for a year, it was just sort of a slight shock to me. But I felt I've adapted quite well. I feel my body's held up far better than I expected, and I feel physically fine to be playing week in, week out again.
Esne Fabler and her Thomas College women's soccer teammates defeated UMaine Pasquik 10-0 in a North Atlantic Conference match. Young dressage rider Kelsey Amos has recently achieved commendable success in overseas dressage events. Amos, riding Queen's Faithful, placed 4th in both the first and second level championships during the USDF Regional 8 Championships held in New York with scores of 67.35% and 62.50% respectively. Amos also placed 2nd in the dressage seat equitation 14 to 18-year-old age group, thereby qualifying her to compete in the USEF Dressage Seat Medal Finals to be held in Illinois during the summer of 2019. In second spring singing bowling league action at the Warwick Lanes saw the Pin Splitters fall 3.5 to 1/2 to just kicking. The Islanders defeated the Last Pins 4-0, while the newcomers went down 3-1 to the Drifters. The Last Minutes went down 4-0 to the Blue Angels. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
And that's all for this evening. We hope you enjoyed the program. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Have a good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.